I really thought it happened. I thought all of this happened in the first act. I was shocked.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
Somewhere between science and superstition.
We have such sights to show you.
Strange Eons.
Welcome to Strange Eons Radio. That is Eric over there. That is Vanessa over there.
Hello.
And I am Kelly. Gang, I am on kind of a deadline this time. I'm meeting with Nick the Hat Gucker.
Oh, artist extraordinaire.
We've got a pretty cool project coming up. So I'm just going to kind of jump into the stuff that I have seen.
Excellent. Okay.
Dive in.
I watched Normal.
Normal what?
Normal. The new Bob Odenkirk movie.
Yeah, right.
Written by the guy who has written all the Nobody movies, all the John Wick movies, all the movies we love, and this is one of those movies. Odenkirk plays a interim police sheriff in a town, and it turns out that the town has made a deal with the Yakuza.
Oh.
Now, Normal is the name of the town. It's in Minnesota. So you wouldn't expect to see the Yakuza here.
That feels like a lot of plane tickets.
But he's a good cop, and he kind of stumbles on something, and
That's awesome.
And then he finds out, holy shit, the entire town is against me. And it is so much fun, you guys. I had such a blast with it. Bob Odenkirk is like the most unlikely action hero.
He really is.
And yet, everything that he does now.
We thought Liam Neeson was the
I was
bar,
gonna say.
and yet then Bob shows up.
It's not a sequel to...
No.
Oh, okay.
No, but it feels just like those movies because it's written by that guy. And he's such a likable guy, Odenkirk. So when he... I mean, they do all of these save the cat moments and everything because he knows he's only there until they vote in their new sheriff. So he's just so he goes and puts a ticket on this lady's car, and she comes out and she's like, "Hey!" And she looks at it, and he just wrote "Park Better" on it, and she goes, "I like the way you law."
That's so good.
And you're just like, "Oh, this guy would be great." And then this thing happens, and you find out, "Oh no." Everyone in this town is the bad guy.
Oh,
so,
that sounds like such a fun film.
It's a rental and is well worth it. It's a cheap rental. So, Normal.
Well, I watched Beef season 2. Did either of you guys see Beef season 1?
I saw Beef season 1. This is not the same characters, right?
No.
Okay, is it new beef?
It's a new beef. There's new beef between new people.
All right.
And it's interesting. It's international beef because it also goes to like Korea. And it's interesting. We've got Oscar Isaac is in it. I'm forgetting the names of all the famous people that are in this. But I thought it was deeper. Maybe it's not deeper. It's pretty interesting. I really liked the questions that they bring up. Per usual, there is a situation that occurs, this time between two sets of couples, and there's sort of a misunderstanding, but then it becomes a blackmail situation, and then they're constantly sort of undermining each other in each other's lives, and then there's sort of like weird crossing over where sometimes some of them are actually going to help out part of the other couple, and the both couples start kind of falling apart. It's very there's a lot going on. It's really heady. I don't know if it actually means anything, but it feels like it means something.
It feels like the kind of show that would drive me nuts. Like, you two just sit down and talk it out, you fucking asshole.
But everyone's characters get in the way of themselves.
Yeah,
they
I know.
can't.
I do remember feeling kind of anxious with the first season.
The first one is really like anxiety inducing.
Yeah.
And I feel like this one's less so. Like there's like stuff going on, but I didn't have I don't know if it's like the intense like embarrassment stress as much on this one. This one, there was a few moments like that, but it was a bit more like, somebody set a little idea in your head, and now that idea is slowly spreading, and now you're changing the way you're acting. So it was a little more subtle, but incredible. Michelle Williams is the other
Oh,
actress in it.
Nice.
I think is it Michelle Williams? Am I crazy?
I don't know.
Is she British?
Normally I'd look
No.
it up for you, but since I forgot,
I will,
forgot what I thought.
I will look up who is
I
in
am
this
less useful.
show. But I would say like the acting in it is absolutely incredible. It's got oh my god, it's giving me this people from season
this is
1.
great pod.
You're welcome. Carrie Mulligan. I'm
Carrie
sorry.
Mulligan,
Carrie
okay.
Mulligan is the actress in this.
like her.
And also Charles Melton, who was in Sabrina as Reggie. He does a great job in it too. He's almost like unrecognizable. He's great in it. And then there's a girl who I haven't seen anything before named Kaylee Spanny, and she's great too. So overall, just a really fun, not fun, a horrifically unfun show to watch, but I think you get a lot out of it.
Does it still have the same kind of dark humor thread
Yes.
going through it? Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely. There's
that sounds good.
a lot of strange, dark humor moments where you're like, oh, that's fucked up. Okay. But that's also kind of amazing. So,
Cool. So I finally went to a Sif movie after many, many years.
Oh my gosh.
Unfortunately.
Oh, no.
Wait, is there a reason you haven't been going to SIF?
Just timing with Crypticon and all this stuff that they're always going on.
And do you
at the
mean
same
SIF as in
time.
the place or the festival?
The festival?
Oh,
The
okay.
festival film.
All right.
And went with Bob was there, Bob Ferguson. So
Hmm.
of the stuff he saw, he let me know that, yeah, you picked the wrong one.
Oh, no.
Mm.
There's this movie called Sons of the Neon Night.
Hmm.
Now, a lot of people are going to love this film. It is fucking gorgeous.
Mhm.
It's shot entirely in grayscale. So there's like virtually no color. Everybody's in black, white, a little bit of white, maybe like a t-shirt underneath something, and grays.
Hmm.
And like a cat. But so it looks really cool at times. Although, and this is just, the modern eyes, the way we're looking at films now, it was in post-production for 8 years.
Wow.
But the action scene at the beginning almost feels like it's got AI moments
Hmm.
because they look oddly crisp. They don't even look CGI crisp. They look beyond that.
Mm.
But it's a story, I think. There's police, there's criminals. There's police that are criminals and criminals that may be trying to do the right thing and trying to recover from themselves. I leaned over halfway during the movie to Dina was there with me too. I leaned and go, I have no fucking idea what's going on in this movie. And she's like, oh, good. It's not just me. And then the movie ended. I looked over at Bob. He's like, I don't know what was going on in that movie. And Tony was there and a couple other people that I didn't see, but he talked to afterwards. Nobody could tell you what the basic storyline of this film was.
Wow.
Although I mentioned it to Hullitz and he had a great idea on it. It's like, so, it's a grayscale movie. The characters are also shades of gray. I'm going, which is theoretically a cool idea, but it makes it really hard to watch a movie.
Yeah.
And it makes a lot of sense for the concept of the film. I thought that's pretty insightful thought there, dude.
Hmm.
But man, it was really frustrating because the performances are all amazing. Everybody is really good. It's really well done. And watch this going, that's so cool. I really don't care about these people because I don't know who is who and who's going to screw over who. And I mean, and it was introduced by the good old Dan Duty, Sif, who is an awesome guy, but he brought in a representative of the tourist to visit Hong Kong. And I'm watching this movie going, dude, bad movie to pick because it is so bleak.
Oh.
The entire thing is bleak and dark. It's always snowing. Everybody's awful.
Oh, God.
It's just like, so I wish something had been put in to center at least, so there's two characters, the main cop and the main bad guy, who if they'd cemented them just a little bit more, one way or the other, I think would help the movie a lot. Because there's so much to like in it, but at the end you're kind of like,
That's a
I don't
bummer.
know.
That just sounds like such a Sif experience.
And it was a huge hit. It won like tons of awards at Hong
Sure.
Kong's main film festival and stuff because it
Maybe
is
something's
really
being
well
lost
done
in
in a lot of
translation.
ways.
Yeah.
Could be, but I mean, visually unreal, acting great, directing cool, storyline really muddy.
Interesting.
It's like, But it was cool to watch.
Sons of the Neon Knight.
Yep.
Okay. For a moment, I was going to talk about Mortal Kombat 2, but you really undersold on what a piece of shit this movie was. So I think I'm
Skipping on.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about Mortal Kombat 2.
Oh.
I'm going to talk about Buffet Infinity.
I've not heard of this at
Got
all.
me on this one.
This is, Eric, your kind of movie. Vanessa,
Okay.
maybe your kind of movie.
Okay.
It is a art house horror comedy that is told entirely through old TV commercials.
Oh.
Oh, okay. I've heard of this thing.
Okay,
Sounds
and it is
crazy.
about a place called Buffet Infinity, which is like a all you can eat.
Restaurant kind of thing.
Well, it's a restaurant, but it's one of those. What do you call it when there's all these different kinds of foods there? It's
Buffet.
it's a buffet.
Buffet.
It's a Buffet Infinity, in fact.
And I hope you set yourself up for that joke.
I am not Jenny. I am not a smart man. And they are right around the corner from a sandwich shop.
Mm-hmm.
And their commercials start competing with each other because the sandwich shop, they are best known for their family sauce, their secret sauce. And the Buffet Infinity is like, hey, we also have a secret sauce. We don't make it our entire identity, though. So there's all these little jabs at them, and they start getting meaner and meaner. And then there's all these news reports about weird sounds that are happening, and there is a sinkhole behind one of the restaurants.
Oh.
And then these businesses near the restaurant start going out of business, and Buffet Infinity is expanding, and all of this stuff starts
Oh my
happening, and
God.
the narration of the commercials start getting a little weirder and darker.
Oh, wow.
And
This is a film?
it is unfortunately a 2-hour film, and it could have been a 90-minute film.
Oh,
My
geez.
only disappointment with it was that it needed to be about a half hour shorter, but it was super interesting because
Wow.
all of these commercials, and it's not just these two places, it's all the places in this town
Mhm.
have commercials. They've got the attorney guy who, have you been hurt? His commercials start getting really dark. He's like got a gun on screen now and everything. And society is just collapsing around this city, and all the commercials are starting to reflect it. And
Wow.
Damn.
the sandwich shop lady, she goes missing, and Buffet Infinity is like, we sincerely hope that nothing bad has happened to our competition and stuff like that. And,
Oh my
and
God.
it starts leading up to a couple of pretty nice cosmic horror scenes at the end that you
shit.
see. And then weird stuff going on where like a commercial will end, but then we follow the guy as he goes home. And it's I don't know what to say about it. It is very compelling.
That sounds incredible.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, and the commercials are all like 1989-ish. So it's all video and kind of warbly and all of this stuff. I just thought it was super, super interesting. And even if the movie isn't like a 100% hit,
Mhm.
the idea of what they did and the story they told through commercials is like astounding. I was
wow.
watching it towards the end going, holy fuck, this is kind of amazing.
That sounds pretty big.
So
That
this is a
sounds so
rental,
cool.
and it is called Buffet Infinity.
Is that like a rental on Amazon kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Sounds cool. Well, I am deep into a series that you got me hooked on, Kelly. Is it season 4 now that we're in? From?
From, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one I was thinking of last time.
Fully caught up.
What do you think of this new season?
I don't know. I was hoping that this was the final season
No.
and that we were resolving things, but there is
There's
one
one
more.
more after this.
I feel like I don't know if they know where they're going, and it
Well,
feels
supposedly that's the whole point of having that end season, right? Is we can now aim towards an
that's
ending.
what I would,
You would think. That or they've got the ending and it's about a season long. So you're like, well, what do we do for the 4th season?
Like, I like the introduction of the yellow man. I think that concept is interesting. I don't know if I love like his form. But I do like in theory that in the meantime, the art chick is making a giant golem, and I'm like, this thing is better be fucking cool.
Yeah, that better
I cannot
be off.
wait for this golem. And it was funny, as soon as she started making a mud thing, my husband's like, what is she doing? I was like, she's making a golem.
Wow.
She's making a golem. And they're like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm making a golem.
It's
I was like,
Catholic
"Ooh."
history coming. No, wait.
It's not.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I just read too much of other. Anyways, Cavalier and Clay, I think, had a golem in it. But yeah, like it just, I don't know. I feel like there's too much randomness, and it feels like I don't care that much about quite a few of the characters. I don't care about the kids anymore. I don't care about the chick. I still really like the guy who gets stoned all the time.
Yeah.
He was super smart. Like, he's probably my favorite character at this point. The policeman, like having him start to maybe show signs of dementia, which we saw in the previous season. I'm like, I don't know, man. Are you really going to take away like one of the more reliable, like powerful figures we have in this show and replace it with what? I don't know.
I'm still not convinced that this isn't entirely his personal hell.
That would be interesting.
So, because everything that happens just seems to drag him lower and lower and lower.
It does feel like that. And the weird things happen specifically to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like where he got, like he was talking to his wife and all of a sudden some like arms came out of the dirt and grabbed him. It's
Yeah.
like, what is that? That doesn't get explored anywhere else.
Yeah, I don't know. There's just I don't know if there's so many questions now that I'm like, I don't even care or
Yeah.
something, but I was so excited when this came on the first episode. I was like,
Yeah.
just killed the main character, and I
Yeah.
was bummed about that.
Yeah.
And then the second episode, I was like, I need something else to happen, especially now because we're what,
Yeah.
6 episodes in, and there's only
Yeah.
8 episodes.
I know.
So-
And like, I thought I was really
Eight's
excited
gonna
about
be
the
a
new.
banger.
yeah.
I was really excited about the new space, the new village, and I was like, I want to know what's going on in there. And then I was like, some giant dolls. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
I just thought it
mean,
was just stupid.
There's
It's
still
just
some
dumb.
kind of creepy imagery. Those dolls were pretty fucking creepy.
They're creepy, but I was also like, now you're
Well, you
throwing out the
remember-
rules of the previous
Yeah.
stuff, and like, what are these guys? And I don't know. I think I'm in part A of the problem you're potentially having. I think there's too much, and I'm caring less and less the more they're throwing at the wall. I'm just like, I was really, really invested, and now I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, we're getting really thinly spread. I don't care about the drug addict girlfriend at all. I wish I could see more of the like Asian like co-cop guy. Like, there's just characters I do care about that we just basically never spend time with anymore.
Right there with you. From Eric.
It's like I'm okay with sticking where I let off on that one. Speaking of movies that or shows that have actually wrapped their shit up,
Oh.
The Boys came to its conclusion
Yeah.
recently.
Way to boast, Eric. Jesus.
It's not my show. It's
Way to watch a show that actually had an ending.
Nobody
okay?
likes a one-upper, Eric. Jesus.
Well, you know, it did have an ending, so that's nice. We're gonna do 5 seasons and we're gonna end it.
Yeah.
Not well, now there's a movie coming out, although they sort of did that. Anyways, overall I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It felt accelerated.
Hmm.
You know, you're saying that the From feels like they're extending shit out.
Mhm.
It felt like things went really fast in the
Yeah.
final episode of The Boys. Like going, oh, okay, we've reached our conclusion. Like,
Wow.
Yeah, I did not like, obviously Homelander, insane and everything, but him just deciding that, I am now God. I was like, this doesn't feel natural to me. So I didn't like that. I liked the ending in the White House. I thought that was
yeah,
kind
that
of
was
fun.
fun. Yep.
Didn't particularly love the ending with Huey, but I do remember something kind of similar to that in the comic book, right?
I think so.
He does kill him. So
Yeah, I think that's. But they deviated enough from it that it's kind of like, oh.
yeah,
But the critical watching skills were really put into test by some comments I've read about this.
Oh.
Like I saw the biggest plot holes at the end of The Boys. Why is he suddenly have no powers? That was the whole point of the did you not
The last 4 episodes.
Jesus Christ. It's like that was what I saw that twice, 2 different people. Both saying, well, there's no way. How come he just suddenly didn't have powers? And the other guy's suddenly so much stronger than him. I was like, oh my God. Everything else you ever say about any movie ever is not worth listening to. I don't know who you are, but I'm not going to bother to find out.
Your opinion no longer holds weight.
That's right.
Please do not talk again.
But I mean, for the character he was, the God thing didn't bother me too much, just because it felt like the end result of a super ego.
Mm.
You know, like at some point you're going to hit something that's an end point. But the this weird little side. Most of the people wandering around in their costumes all the time. Like, okay, whatever. The preacher guy, for some reason, his felt so ridiculous when he was just wandering around in it. Like, that just looks weird, man. That is too much. It's too much going on there.
Yeah.
But I mean, some of the other comments were decent. Like I wish they would have run into powers when they were in the tunnels underneath the White House instead of just guards,
Right.
which makes sense. But like I said, I think it's just because it all happened so fast. They just didn't have time to have powered fights
Yeah.
to get to the Oval Office. And I did like that they set up his downfall to be fully televised
Yeah.
everywhere. So people, you know, it's like, oh, you're actually going to see exactly what this guy really is.
Mm.
And if you didn't already realize that from scene 1 of the first damn episode, that's on you.
Yeah.
Mm.
But the overall it was fine. But yeah, they needed like to do like a 90-minute episode or something for that last
I
one.
really
just
thought
to
that last one was going to be something like that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. I did
flesh
like,
that out.
after they gave us the supernatural reunion,
Yeah.
I did like at the very end of the last episode when we get to see Bobby
Yes.
again as the president. I was like, oh,
That's a-
okay, now it does feel like a supernatural reunion.
Yeah.
And I am looking forward to the new series.
Yeah.
So,
He was such a great presence on the show.
yeah.
And he's so freaking good at everything he
They're
does.
doing an additional series with this
Yeah,
one?
they're doing Patriot or
Soldier Boy.
Soldier Boys
Oh,
origin.
that'll be fun.
Yeah. So, and it'll be set in like the 50s. So
Yeah.
I'm
Nice.
like, okay, that I like stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that'll be cool. I would much rather watch that than V or whatever.
Gen
The-
V.
Gen
yeah.
V.
And that was a little weird too. This sort of pointless tossing in of a couple of characters from that you could have had him actually do something.
Was it pointless? We didn't bother to watch the last season of Gen V,
Fair,
so
yeah.
it might have been leading into that. I don't have any clue.
Yeah.
Did you catch though that her dad, the girl who could turn her blood into weapons,
Mhm.
her dad was the preacher superhero.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and so I thought we'd get
Oh, that would have been
something
Interesting
between the two of
combination.
them, and that wasn't it. So
Hmm.
Blood of Christ or something.
Yeah.
There's a lot to do there.
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, well. But overall, it's fine. I'm glad it wrapped up and it wasn't, thank God it's finally done kind of an ending. But
I will say this. So now we have Spider Noir on
Mhm.
Prime, and The Boys is wrapped up. But it is reasonable to assume the same people who are watching The Boys are watching Invincible. So why did that have to run at the same time? Why are we getting these things all happening at once
Yeah.
instead of,
Yeah.
hey, we end this show here, now we can start this show.
Yeah.
And,
This
don't
is
know,
how
it's-
I get super behind on series because I'm like, I gotta watch this other one right now.
Exactly.
I don't think I have time for
and also
overlapping.
with the success of both of those two, why did you do a dump of all the episodes? Spider Noir, the
that was,
Boys and Invincible have all been really good as episodic.
yeah. How
releases.
do they decide that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't
That
know.
is strange.
Maybe they didn't
Is-
think it was going to do well, so they thought, we'll just dump it out.
In a Spider Noir, that's like a Sony one then, or
Oh, it
Oh,
must
maybe that.
be, but
because
Sony
it's,
doesn't
if it's
exist
not on
anymore, so-
Disney,
yeah.
then it can't be. Then it shouldn't because
It's on
otherwise it
Prime,
should have
so
been.
it's not. It's on Prime, so it's not Disney.
No, I know.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's part of the Marvel universe, but it's part of the Spider Verse, so therefore it's
Right.
my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Who knows?
anymore?
Whatever contract they have, I'm sure there's some reasoning
That's right.
behind it.
Somebody owns it somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, okay. How about we take a little break, and then when we come back, we are starting our Mad Maxathon.
The Legoland gas station, you built it for action. You can raise a car up on the lift and check the underside, or fill her up, close the hood, and pretend to take a ride. What can you do with the new Public Works Center? You can build a crane and watch it drop some bricks into a bin, or lift the door, roll out the truck, and let the bricks fall in.
The action's up to you.
The Legoland Public Works Center from the Legoland Town Collection. Legoland gas station sold separately from Lego Systems.
We have returned. Gang, we are starting the Mad Maxathon, which means that for the next 5 episodes, I really hope you guys like the Mad Max movies, because we're going to be talking about all of them.
Yep. If you stopped watching because of,
Ninja November?
Disco, whatever the fuck that was.
That was only one episode.
I was actually thinking about
Was it
Gibson,
just one?
but okay.
Felt like a lot.
Oh yeah, when Severin Disco comes out. No, just kidding.
All right.
Go.
All
I
right.
will be sick that day, is what will happen.
All right, gang, we're starting this off with the OG, Mad Max.
Tomorrow, in a world gone mad. The only law will be a renegade squad of suicidal cops.
He's my prisoner, and he's not walking out that door.
And the open road will be controlled by gangs of glory roaders. Max is a cop, one of the best.
Where does they're out to get you? Scoot jockeys? Yeah, nomad trash. Well, I'll add it to my thread collection.
You made the news again. Who was he?
Don't know. Just another glory roader, I guess.
Toe Cutter is a glory roader, one of the most sadistic.
Anything I say, anything you say. What a wonderful philosophy you have. Take him away.
I want my baby.
You've not got a sense of humor.
Please, don't hurt my baby.
You've got a pretty face, though.
Both want the other dead. But only one can have his way. Mad Max. You don't want to make Max mad. Because when Max gets mad, he gets even. American International presents Mad Max, the maximum force of the future.
Directed by George Miller, who is the director of all the Mad Max films, and also Babe, Pig in the City, and Happy Feet.
Yeah.
Written by James McCausland. Now, I should say screenplay by James McCausland, because it is based on the story by George Miller and Byron Kennedy. And this was James' only writing credit. He was not a screenwriter. They hired him and said, "Do you know how to do this?" And he said, "I'll give it a shot." Probably in
Sounds like
a very,
Australia.
probably a very Australian accent when he said it. Starring Mel Gibson, best known for calling the female cop who pulled him over while he was drunk Sweet Teats. Also for denying the Holocaust.
Oh, yeah.
He's
Modern
also
Mel
been
Gibson.
in
Such an
all of the
ass.
Lethal Weapon movies, all of the Mad Max, well, not all the Mad Max movies. Payback, Ransom, Braveheart, The Bounty. He's also director of some renown,
Yeah.
directing Hacksaw Ridge, Apocalypto, Passion of the Christ, and Braveheart, among others. Joanne Samuel plays his wife, Jessie. She's been in a lot of Aussie TV shows and miniseries, including 4 Years Later, Stinson Creek, and Rake. She was cast as his wife 2 weeks into filming of this movie because the actress who was his wife broke her leg.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
And
geez.
so Now we
Australia.
have Joanne Sando. And then also in this is Steve Beasley, Tim Burns, Roger Ward, and Hugh Keys Byrne as Toe Cutter.
Mm-hmm.
So we start off, and we are in a dystopian near-future Australia, which is facing a breakdown of society due to the oil crisis in Iran, which led to energy shortages and unrest.
Oh, fuck.
There's a little bit in there about Iranian forces attacking Saudi Arabia, which ignites a massive war in the Middle East and then around the world. This was all in 1979, and I remember it feeling like we weren't too far away from that. And then watching it now, I felt, again, like we weren't too far away from it.
Yeah.
And that makes me realize that the world is always just in unrest, and we can all simmer down. It's going to be fine.
But it's affecting me right now.
Our film opens with a berserk biker gang member named the Knight Rider and his girlfriend,
This guy's so overhyped.
who have killed
Christ.
a rookie officer of the MFP, which is one of the last remaining law enforcement agencies. They have stolen the cop's police vehicle. They are able to pretty much elude the MFP until Officer Max Rockatansky gets involved. Max joins the chase, and then he bumps their car into a roadblock that kills the Knight Rider and his girlfriend. At the MFP garage, Max is shown his new police car, which is a specially built and supercharged black pursuit vehicle. Max doesn't know this, but it is revealed to us that this special vehicle was authorized to kind of bribe him to stay on the force because he's got a wife and a young boy, and he is looking to kind of get out of the police work.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we don't get to see much of the cities in this movie. This is a wasteland movie. But we do get to see the police headquarters, and it is fucking ramshackle. I mean,
is
the
crazy.
ceiling is falling in places.
I can't remember. It's like in an old something other kind of building. It's very weird.
Well, it looks like it might have been a prison at some point,
Sure,
but I think
yeah.
that was the point, was just to kind of show that they've got big walls around this building.
Yeah.
I guess the point is they don't have the money to even take care of their own place. And this is how they're showing that society is crumbling.
But they still have lawyers.
They still have lawyers.
Still
Still
have
the important
lawyers.
people.
You still got to really follow the rule of shit.
Kind of.
Kind of. Sort of.
From here, we go to the Knight Riders motorcycle gang, which is led now by a guy named Toe Cutter. They never tell us how he got this name, but I have ideas.
Yeah. None of them particularly pleasant.
No. They have rolled in and are terrorizing a very small town in the middle of nowhere. In fact, when a young couple attempt to escape, the motorbikes chase them down, destroy the car, kill the man, and assault the woman in various unpleasant ways. This is the way of the wasteland. Meanwhile, we've also met Max's fellow officer, Goose, who is a motorcycle police officer. You know, I understand why we use motorcycle cops right now. It makes sense. But when you are in a wasteland
of that too.
of auto dueling, it seems like a bad vehicle to have.
Yeah.
I just figured it was fast.
It's fast,
and
but what are
easy
you
to like
supposed
get
to-
around other wrecks.
Once you get there.
Yeah, what are you supposed to do once you
That's
get there?
true.
Especially if you're up against a semi or something like that.
Man, there are so many just car on car. I mean, like you truncated that beginning chase.
Yeah.
It is so long. They're like, oh, this police unit's out. Let's send this other one. Oh, that one's out. Let's send this other. I'm like,
It's
oh
not out
my
yet.
god, how many? Oh yeah, and then they come back. I'm like, what the fuck?
Jesus, that cop who makes his driver drive, and then the driver ends up, slashing his throat. The next time we see him, he's talking with the voice
Through the
box.
voice box is so good. Oh my god.
So good. Wow.
And it's just like a cool, weird storytelling.
It is really
That is
cool.
fair, yes.
Weird storytelling.
Yeah.
To prove out that the motorcycle is not a great idea, Knight Rider's gang has sabotaged Goose's police bike, which gets him in a wreck. And you would think this is where the motorcycle bike gang would attack him.
Yeah.
But he calls a tow truck, then commandeers the tow truck and tows his own bike back towards the station, and that's where they attack him.
With an astounding throw.
Right. What did they throw, like a tire rim or something at
Yeah,
him?
it sort of looked like a small tire.
Or,
small rim of a tire.
so right through the windshield of the tow truck, which he crashes, and then they burn him alive in the vehicle. Good times. As a side note, I looked up to see how many sidekicks named Goose die in action movies. You will be surprised to know that this is not the trope I thought it was. Really just Top
Was it
Gun
two?
and this.
I was
just
like, oh my
seems
God,
like-
how many?
It seems like it should be,
Nah.
just because of that.
Yeah. Because, you know, goose, they're fun, they're cool, and they get killed.
Well, goose are not fun. Or geese.
No, they are
Suck.
dicks.
Gooses are the worst.
But they're goofy
Scary.
looking.
There. When Max finds out about Goose, he goes to see him in the hospital, and seeing his charred body in the ICU is enough to get Max to formally resign from the MFE to save what is left of his sanity. It is a horror movie reaction where he pulls the sheet off to see his body, and then it's almost like the lighting behind him changes and everything.
The music goes way over the
And
top.
they don't really show us what he's looking at, so you're just like,
Yeah.
oh, it must be really fucked.
Painful.
Well, and the other thing is fucking Max, or what's his name? Mel, is so fucking young that it is hard to believe that he'd be a cop anyway,
Yeah.
right? You're like, who's this high school kid?
Yep.
Let alone, I'm ready to retire
Yes,
because I've seen
yes.
too much shit. And also, I'm the best cop out there, and they call me whenever like shit gets crazy. So,
Right.
yeah.
The police captain, whose name is Fifi.
Yes.
Oh my
With
God,
the
I forgot about that.
big, wonderful scarf and all the
He's amazing.
Max, we need to give them their heroes.
And he's huge.
He's huge.
He's so
Yes.
tall and such a big guy.
He convinces him to just take some time off instead. So Max goes on a trip in his groovy bubble window 1970s van with his wife and son, whose name is Sprague. Did you guys know that Sprague is just Australian slang for child?
No.
George digging deep there with the writer on that
No,
one.
I thought Sprague was maybe a type of frog or something.
I kept thinking like sprocket or something, and then Sprague, and I was like, no, he's saying Sprague, and I was like, is Sprague a common Australian name? And it turns out, nope, just slang for
There
kids.
you got your name for your
I know. I was just saying the same thing.
call him child.
Hello, child. You are
I
a
love it.
child.
I love it. During this little journey, this vacation, they stop at a little outpost to get their tire fixed, and Jessie, who is Max's wife, takes the kid to get ice cream where they are accosted by Toe Cutter and the gang.
This is like the most stressful
It's
scene.
It's a pretty.
It's like
pretty intense
gnarly because is that the point where they take the kid and they're like, I don't know where the kid, or is it?
No,
Well,
a
that
little bit
happens
later?
later, but they're like playing with him and playing with her. It is super
Ice cream.
uncomfortable.
There's so much like cat and mouse. My memory of this movie, like I thought that the torturous stuff was just shortened and like way earlier.
Right.
It was just like, man, there's a lot of just fucking with this poor family.
Yeah, and she's pretty badass.
She's cool.
She smashes the guy with the ice cream and then kicks him in the nuts, and
Toe Cutter.
they get running off. Not without a member of the gang losing his hand.
In one of the more intelligent moves by the king.
Yes.
It's like, what do you think was going to happen, dude? You hook a car with your.
And then the car continues to accelerate. It's not stopping for me. And they head off to go see either an elderly friend or perhaps Jesse's mother or grandmother. But if it was that, there's a brief encounter with what I assume is the elderly woman's son or grandson, and she has to let Jesse know about him.
I thought it was like a rental house or something. Maybe I'm.
But they seemed like awfully
Very
familiar
friendly,
with
and
each
she
other.
became very protective.
Yeah.
Yeah, she definitely was. Yeah.
And you'd think that if they were close enough to know this person to stay at the place, that they'd know about their kid or whatever's going on. He's very large and mentally handicapped.
Yeah.
While Max is working on the van, Jessie takes Sprague and goes out sunbathing, but she finds out that the motorcycle gang has followed them, tracked them down. They start chasing her through
Where
the
you
woods.
going? I'm going to go about 4 miles that way.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's such a trek. I was like, this feels like a bad idea.
She's got to go through the forest
Yes.
to get there.
To get to
And that is also a pretty scary scene where she
Yeah.
starts seeing them kind of running
that's
through the
well
woods.
done.
Yeah, it is pretty impressive filmmaking. So Max, they start chasing her through the woods, and Max goes out looking for them. But unfortunately, they miss each other as they're crossing. And so Jesse has grabbed Sprague, and this is the scene where you were talking about, where the guys have her kid, and then the old lady shows up with a gun, and they trap them in a room, and they take off in the van. Unfortunately, unbeknownst to them, but knownst to us, Max has not finished repairing the van. So when they're tearing down the road and it starts breaking down, the motorcycle gang shows up, and they literally just run over his wife and kid in the middle of the highway.
Yeah, pretty brutal.
It is pretty brutal.
Yeah, it's just like that elongated, like, we're fucking with you, we're fucking with you. By the time they killed them, I was like, oh, thank God, I cannot handle this anymore. It's too much. It's too much watching them get messed around with.
It's like one of the notes I have here. It's like, I remember some of the stuff, like, it's been a while since I watched it.
Yeah.
With the tire shop and the guy with his hand, but I've forgotten how mean parts of this movie get.
Rough.
Just like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when they show up there, Kundalini wants his hand back. And then they don't kill the wife, remember? She's
right, yeah.
She's like in a coma and
That's right.
never going to come out of it.
That's
the boy
right.
is killed immediately.
And he overhears in the
yeah,
hospital.
He overhears, and that's when
they're like, don't tell the husband, but she's fucked.
Yeah.
He's like on the other side of a clear plastic. Like,
this was the other thing that kind of surprised me, because it had been a long time for me too. I had forgotten that we are now in the third act. So it is the third act before this turns into the Road Warrior, basically.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay.
I really thought it happened. I thought all of this happened in the first act. I was shocked. I was like, holy shit, we're like almost done with this movie. And now he's going to get his car, I guess.
Yeah, it is really like 17 minutes from the point where he puts on the leathers, he goes and steals the black Interceptor, and then he starts hunting down the various gang members. Unfortunately, he is caught in a trap set by Toe Cutter, and he is injured pretty badly. One knee is all fucked up. His hand is run over by a motorcycle. That is a pretty interesting shot because it looks real.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I guess if you did that right, you could probably get away with not getting hurt too badly. It's not like, a car running over it.
Yeah.
But still, like, that's a dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to hurt.
Yeah.
And then, when we see Max finally, he is looking pretty rough here. They have fucked him up pretty bad.
Yeah.
He does finally manage to get back to his vehicle, though, and chases Toe Cutter into the path of an approaching semi, which splatters him. This is one of my favorite scenes of the movie, because if you look very closely, you can see that the front of the semi is just a huge metal slab that has been painted to look like the front of a semi.
Yeah.
So when it runs into the car, the motorcycle when it runs into the motorcycle, it just fucking explodes. And there's one shot where it's like a 3/4 shot of the semi, and you can see the slab a couple of feet in front of the actual front of the semi.
I'm gonna have to
Wasn't
rewatch
hiding
that.
it.
Well, I mean, and nobody, in 1979, they weren't thinking, we'd be able to sit there and stop on 4K. But I just love that kind of idea. Yeah.
There's a lot of smart stuff in here.
Yeah, really cool stuff. Finally, Max finds the last gang member, and he sets up a jigsaw type trap where the man has got his ankle handcuffed to a vehicle that is leaking gas and about to explode. And Max hands him a hacksaw and tells him the car will explode way before he can cut through the handcuffs, but if he's willing to cut his foot off, he could probably beat it. And then Max just drives off into the wasteland as the car explodes in the distance.
Way
behind
faster
it.
than he even gave me the indication.
Man, this was a joy to watch again, though. I was the filmmaking in this, unlike Dario Argento.
Oh, ouch. Woof. It's incredible. I will say it kind of makes me sad because there's so much great storytelling and like world building that doesn't exist in the later movies. And we'll discuss this more in the next ones.
I was kind of watching this thinking a little differently in that this is, when the movie was made, this of course was not the intention, but now the movie plays as this wonderful setup for the movies that come afterwards.
Right.
As opposed to, it's like.
But like this whole society doesn't really exist after. Like
Well, yeah, it's not
the
gonna
police,
get better.
the
It's not gonna get-
no, but like it just feels like any kind of institution that was left over, it's just all completely gone after this, which I'm
Yeah.
disappointed by because it's crazy and weird and cool. I love the fucked up police station and the
Yeah.
weird, I don't know, the weird little towns. I don't know. It's just a lot of that stuff that felt like there was almost little pieces of society left that in the future films is just completely.
Well, I think there would be because there is just little pieces of society left, and as the
Right,
toe cutter
but-
gangs.
When we get into the Road Warrior, you're going to see that now there's been a nuclear war.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot
There's
about
more
that.
So that's why.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense. Because I was like, this is really sad. I really want to see more of this. This
Yeah,
is
it's
what
pretty good.
I find so cool.
Yeah.
I do love the beginning. Every dystopian movie should just start with a few years from now.
Yeah.
Instead of putting an actual date on it.
It
Oh my
feels
God,
like- yeah,
so much
instead of
smarter.
The future, 1999.
Westworld, 1983. What?
Yes. I got some kind of cool trivia.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys know that George Miller was a doctor in Sydney working in an emergency room before he became a director?
Holy
This
shit.
explains a lot. He's
was-
like, I've seen some fucked up shit. Let me show you.
It
Yeah.
was part of the way they raised money. He and Byron Kennedy is he would do like odd job emergency things and have Byron Kennedy drive him out to a place that needed him to
Shit.
operate on somebody.
Whoa.
So and they raised money doing that. And you gotta
That is so badass.
well, you start realizing that
Cool.
Jesus Christ, in '79, Australia wasn't too far away from what this movie actually
Yeah.
is.
Yes.
A lot of shit going on. So he meets amateur filmmaker Byron Kennedy at a summer film school in 1971. The two men produced a short film that won several awards at various film festivals, and then they get to work on Mad Max. They come up with an idea, they build super elaborate storyboards, they hire this guy who's not a writer to write, and that guy will even say his whole contribution was basically dialogue.
Oh.
Hmm.
And shopping all this stuff around to slowly build up this budget, and all of this took 8 years.
Wow.
According to George Miller, his intent while writing Mad Max was a silent movie with sound, basically using as little dialogue as possible and just filling it with high kinetic images.
Hmm.
The film was shot in about 14 weeks over a 7-month time frame. The crew closed roads without filming permits and didn't use walkie-talkies because their frequency coincided with the police radios.
Excellent.
And Miller and Kennedy would even sweep down the roads and clean everything up after filming was done.
Wow.
Eventually, the Victoria Police found out about the production, and rather than shut it down, they began to help the crew by closing down roads and escorting vehicles for them.
That's so Australia. That's so cool.
You want to know something that's very Australian? Most of the extras were paid in beer.
Oh,
That is 100%
God,
believable.
the movie just gets more badass the more you learn about
Fastas.
it.
I wish it
I
was
think
better,
they might be
maybe.
upset with you for that one.
Mel Gibson got the part of Max while still a drama student. He was paid $10,000.
Wow.
The actor who plays Toe Cutter, Hugh Keays-Byrne, went on to play Morton Joe in Mad Max Fury Road.
Mhm.
This film's budget is estimated between $350,000 and $400,000, managed to gross $100 million worldwide, setting a record for the most profitable independent film of all time, which it held for almost 20 years until the Blair Witch Project came along in 1999.
Wow, that's incredible.
And of course, depending on which version you watch, whether you have purchased it or downloaded it, you're either watching the original edition where the Australian voices are dubbed with American actors, or the original Australian dub, which is not that difficult to understand,
No,
but
it's
the
not.
studios just didn't think that American audiences would like Australian accents, even though the movie is clearly in Australia.
That's so stupid. Oh my God.
It's so much better in the original Australia. Well, there's that stupidity leaks into a totally weird random thing here. The Mariners have a broadcaster who's Australian, and he's excellent.
Yeah.
And they kind of pulled back using him because a lot of people were complaining they couldn't understand him. Like, and he has less of an Australian accent than these people do.
Oh
'cause
my
he's lived in
God.
America for like 10 years. So it's
So
like,
I thought everybody was like me.
Jesus.
Every time I meet an Australian dude, I'm like, hey, how you doing?
100%. Yeah, I'm like, please tell me more.
Exactly.
Even if I have no clue what you're saying.
Also, even if I realize you're an idiot, just
Yeah.
keep talking.
yeah,
That's great.
He's fucking great.
Just there's something really like compelling about this accent. Like,
Yeah.
yes, I will just sit here. Tell me it, weave me a tale.
Unless you're toe cutter, then it's disturbing. But you know, I want to see more of that green car they showed like for 3 seconds at the gas station. Did you
Oh,
catch
that weird. Yeah.
It's like, what is that? But and watching this, because the first time we watched him, we were probably both under 15.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah.
No wonder these came out so cool. He is so cool in the beginning. It's almost to the point of silliness where he's waiting for all the guys to just beat everything up. And he says, I'm gonna come in when I know I'm gonna do it right. It's like going, yeah, as a 12-year-old, I would have eaten that shit up. It's still really cool, but it's almost like, okay.
I think that's the brilliance of Kennedy's idea is I'm just going to show a bunch of cool scenes of him tightening his gloves or the shots of the cars. We've done car moving shots and everything. You can drive 20 miles an hour, and if the camera is low enough, it looks like you're doing 70 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So,
although he does use the sped up film at times.
Yeah, yeah, and of course a lot of those stunts were done at full speed.
Yeah.
So.
The stunt work in this is out of control. There is so much stunt work going on.
Yeah.
And I know that there was some pretty brutal
there's accidents and stuff like that, all the stuff that happens on film like this.
Yeah.
But
low budget, crazy men.
You hope that if you are
being fed in beer, paid in beer.
Yeah. You hope that if you're injured or worse on a film, that it turns out to be a film that will be talked about 50 years later.
Yeah.
Rather than say, I don't know if you guys know that one of the stunt drivers in The Wraith was killed on that film. And you're like, sorry, buddy, I love that movie, but I really wish that it had been a movie that you could have been proud of dying on.
There's interesting choices in the way he does stuff. And it all works in a wild one way. That is a weird motorcycle gang.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I'm like, there are a few scenes that, like on the beach and stuff like that. It's like, I don't think you guys actually want women around.
No.
You seem to very much enjoy your male company.
Yeah.
But I can just see on watching that on set and knowing about being on some of the stuff we've been on, I'll bet there's a lot of those actors who are just doing wild crap.
Oh, for sure.
Just for fun. And it's like, I'm going to go out on my motorcycle. I'm going to do a roll. No reason, but it looks cool. So I'm sure George's back there going.
Well, the entire motorcycle gang are those drivers. Those are their motorcycles. Mm-hmm. So they're, they've probably been doing wacky shit in the outback forever. And then some guy comes along and says, okay, I need you guys to be badass. So, no problem.
We can do that. This is Outback
Finally,
Australia.
This is what I've been waiting for. My moment.
And they pull it off. They're weird. It's a weird gang, but that's part of what I think works in the whole flavor of the film, where there's something different. They're not like every motorcycle gang you've seen and everything. And giving a guy named Toe Cutter is just uncomfortable.
Well, everybody's name is just so weird too. Johnny the Boy. It's not Johnny Boy. It's Johnny the Boy.
Totally. Totally.
So it all feels lived in, and like there's a story behind everybody's name.
Yeah.
Okay, that was Mad Max. And Eric, you have the next slot, so we're talking The Road Warrior.
Yeah.
Mad Max 2.
I think I've seen it before.
Maybe. Do you remember when we were watching these? I didn't get to see this until after The Road Warrior. It was so hard to find this movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I don't think I realized it was a sequel until a couple years later. I mean, not like when I'm in my 20s, but still when I was a teen. But it was a couple years later, I'm going, hold on, The Road Warrior had a movie before it?
And the only reason I knew that is because, my brother was in a band that was kind of big, and he would bring over like magazines from Germany and stuff like that. And they had the poster for The Road Warrior, only it was called Mad Max 2. And I was like, what? There's another movie? I remember kind of being disappointed when I was a kid.
It's a little different.
Because I wanted more of what you were talking about, but in the movie I had just seen.
Right,
so
totally.
I wanted it to be more
Road Warrior,
post-apocalyptic.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
But as I've gotten older and everything, I think that this is a really nice, solid film that's kind of like, El Mariachi or something like that. It's like, I've got a story to tell, and here is the first chapter.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a really strong trendsetter of a film. Just, I mean,
Yeah.
really early post-apocalyptic. I mean, Westworld had a little bit of that, and there are other words that were sort of that, but they're much more
Yeah.
hard sci-fi. This
Yeah.
one is
This one's like
fantasy.
this is what I'm
apocalypse.
gonna. Yeah, this is the craziest shit I can think of,
Yeah.
and I'm just gonna go full board. So, did he know when he was making this movie that this was gonna be part of a series of
No.
films? Okay.
No, I'm guessing that the $100 million
They were
it made
like,
worldwide made the
Yo,
studios go,
Georgie.
do we have a sequel?
Yes, how much money would you like to do?
He's like, let me tell you a film about a penguin I'd like to make. They're like, no, let's roll it back a minute.
I do love that he's the guy
Later.
that made fucking Happy.
Yeah.
Like going, why
Didn't
would
he
you
do that because he wanted to film his kids could see or something?
Probably. That's usually why
Yeah.
I
people
don't know if
create
you guys
those
have
kind of
seen that
films.
movie. It's fucking adorable.
Oh yeah,
I have not.
I have.
I've only seen like the
I've
first
seen it.
3 minutes, and then my daughter wasn't into it, so I had turned it off. So I have not seen the full thing.
It's like
It's pretty good.
Taking the City.
Mhm.
You kind of are like, oh, this is what I would expect. This is a very
Yeah.
dark children's movie.
Yeah.
But Happy Feet is a really good children's movie.
Happy
Happy.
movie.
Yeah.
Fun music, crazy shit. It's fun. Yeah.
Well, all right, gang. That means that next week or next 2 weeks from now,
Yeah.
we're talking about the Road Warrior. So this is the part where I say thanks to everybody out there who's liking and sharing posts, who's commenting on the YouTube videos, who's interacting with us on the Strange Eons Radio talk page on Facebook. It's the only thing I do on Facebook anymore. I haven't
Yeah,
made an
same.
actual post on my Facebook page
Oh yeah.
this year.
Yeah, I hear that.
So where else can they reach out to us?
You can also reach us on the Strange Eons Radio hotline. You can call us, you can leave us a voicemail, you can also text us on there. The phone number for that is 253-237-4266. Please get in touch, let us know what you think about the show. If you have any questions, any thoughts, any suggestions, we would love to hear from you.
Operators are standing by to take your information.
And by operators, we mean Eric.
Meaning electronic email, voicemail.
All right, gang. Also, let us know if you like this idea of attacking franchises.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if we do that. If we just roll into another franchise at the end of this, we go back to a single movie. We go back to
Yeah, let's
trying
Individual
genres
films,
again.
yeah.
You know,
We'd love to know what you guys think and if that's something you're into, or, if you were like, no, these can be special one-off moments.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, the other funny thing was that I had mentioned this to you guys, and we were like, yeah, this sounds like something kind of fun. And then didn't you just send me something about a local theater is showing all
Yeah.
of the movies?
Yeah, the Beacon Cinema
Oh, really?
in Seattle is showing all of them. I think they've done Mad Max. I think Road Warrior is like this week. I was looking at it going, I wonder if I'm going to try to see if I can make it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot closer to me than it is to be
Well,
quite a trip
yeah.
for you.
But like, I've never seen Mad Max or The Road Warrior in a theater.
No.
That would have
that's
been cool.
cool. That would be a really cool.
But I think the only show that they showing they're like 4:00 in the afternoon or something.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
I don't know, but that would be cool.
That would be so
Yeah.
cool.
Well, all right, gang. That's it. We'll see you in 2 weeks, and we're talking The Road Warrior. See you next time.
Transportation and other considerations for Strange Eons Radio produced by Pan Am Airlines. When you think of traveling, think of Pan Am. You can't beat the experience. Guests of Strange Eons Radio stay at Econo Lodge Everett. It's an easy stop on the road, if you know what we mean. Strange Eons Radio is recorded live in front of a studio audience. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider leaving us a positive review on your favorite podcast app. Sit, Ubu, sit.
She's making a golem!